6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome back. We are here for the grand finals of this tournament. Recent Gaming versus New Era. And Matmata will be the first arena of the battle, as Recent Gaming are now leading 3-2 on the first round of the very great final.
Looks like the match of the century, the very last match in the 20th anniversary Call of Duty 2 Major has begun. Matmata, as the first map, is already seeing quite a bit of action, as Reason Gaming and NEWERA are both taking casualties. NEWERA having 3 players in spectator mode, and Shepard and Pavadox on the other side. We have 50 seconds on the clock. BenQ is becoming injured, as Gobox tries to finish him off, and now we have a 2 versus 2, which means that Reason Gaming doesn't have the man advantage anymore, and now they are going to meet up with BenQ very soon on A. Scales going down, and now the last player, Spirit, has to clutch this 1 versus 2. BenQ misses the shot, which means that Mozart is the only one left in this 1 versus 1. Spirit retreating to the safety of the A corridor. Bomb is being planted at 12 seconds left. And now time has been extended as Mozart has planted the bomb. And we are seeing the 1 versus 1 MP44 versus the Scope. And the Scope wins the fight. NEWERA gets the first round on the British side.
Fantastic comeback by New Era, and we already see the timeouts. It might be with the music today we're talking about in the
I
chat.
just heard through my headphones that there was some music starting up in the venue. We are unsure where it is coming from, but as I'm hearing it, it did stop.
Maybe it was from the stream?
Definitely not.
No idea.
But now the players are confirming that it was very loud, but has gone down. So we are waiting for 5 more to ready up so we can continue the match of the century. We have already seen this matchup once. Reason Gaming and NEWERA has already met up once in the winner's bracket. They did a very close battle, but NEWERA took the fight home. And now Reason Gaming has come back for revenge, or NEWERA is going to come for a second win. We are not quite sure which one will be true at the end of tonight, but I am definitely sure that it will be a bloody fight between these two. Still a couple more seconds away before everybody gets ready. And now, match resumes in 5 seconds. 1-0 for NEWERA on the very first map. We are quite early with that timeout, but it is over, so we can continue the madness that is about to unfold.
It seems like we are finally ready to continue. Reason Gaming and New Era already. Nordic trying to go for the push right here, and we'll find the first elimination, and Spirits goes down. Smoke emerges on the side, but still a few more Reason Gaming players waiting for that fight. Gabox with the shotgun, and New Era, after getting that entry elimination, are slowing down a bit. Both Nordics and BenQ looking through that smoke, and the rest of the players trying to play from a bit further distance. Gabox, especially his position, will be important here with that shotgun, as he finds now Nordics, and also a great way to escape. It is 4 against 4, a New Era that is pushed back from the side. Skills, great shot, BenQ party. Kirba, a lot of eliminations coming from every side of the map, but it is Reason Gaming once again in the 3 versus 2 lead. We've seen already New Era coming from a situation like that. Reason Gaming, can they learn on the mistake? Or maybe New Era will show us once more how to win clutches like that. As Stroomfish right now with the kill. Is he expecting another player there? Stroomfish, he actually is. And now it's Paddy against Mozart. Scope against Scope for the victory here. But Paddy still with the nade. Mozart might not expect this one. And Paddy with
What
a
a
beautiful
headshot.
headshot for the first point for Reason Gaming.
There we go. Paddy keeping Reason Gaming alive with that monstrous headshot. Mozart had no response to that. And now we are heading into the third round. Let's see what they have for us. You're seeing the players go in middle. Skills have found Strumfitch, and now Kirby is going down as Paddy Shepard shoots him. Spirit getting a headshot onto Nodex. And now Banku trying to get revenge for the fallen teammates. Makes it a 4 versus 2. There's still disadvantage. However, there's one less opponent to worry about. Now heading slowly towards the B site. Slowly approaching Godbox's location on the Overwatch. Meanwhile, Mozart is looking at A. Hasn't found anyone, but is now going to a better position. Looking right at Pavadox. Barely misses him. Hiding behind that box. Now Mozart looking to join Godbox on the Overlook. Who is going right on Mozart. Takes him down, and now Banku is left alone. 1 versus 4. Godbox jumps right above him. Who has no idea right now that the last enemy is hiding very close by. 38 seconds on the clock. Banku makes his location known, and now Godbox jumps to make sure that Paddy Shepard gets the kill on the confused Banku. 2-1. Reason Gaming is now leading the initiative with 1 score lead.
Two to
Now-
1, Reason Gaming.
Paddy Shepard tries to fly and shoot at the same time, but doesn't quite hit anybody. But the first kills are looking to go towards the NEWERA players as they are getting free kills in the process. Paddy Shepard trying to equalize the situation. Now Skills continuing the fragging. 2-on-2. Skills with another one takes down Mozart. Strumfitch left alone with a single shotgun in hand. And he's now looking to go to B. Gets taken down by Paddy Shepard. What an effort from Skills and Paddy. Incredible duel. Takes Reason Gaming to 3-1.
And this Axis side is starting to looking so well, coming from Reason Gaming. 3-1. New Era right now struggling a bit to get those points as Reason Gaming are putting those numbers up there. Stroomfish dodging those nades. Once more, we will see a very early fight coming in, but Cuba finding products already. Banku with the push. He finds Spirit. Stroomfish with help. And seems like this time New Era's timing is just perfect in every possible way. Bringing them 4 eliminations already and leaving only Paddy alive. As he's now found by Stroomfish. A clean sweep from New Era. Whenever we think that they are in the down, whenever we think that they are dominated for a slightest moment, we see them coming back in style. 3-2. Or this would be an absolute banger if both teams are only starting, is what we are seeing right now.
One interesting thing to note is that Mozart found an MP44 in the last second of the round. However, on the very last few ticks, he actually lost it. And now NEWERA is left without an extra weapon, but it looks like it wasn't needed as Trumpet and Nodex have brought down Reason's numbers to a 3 versus 1 now. Spirit is left alone. Finds a couple of tags in the smoke. Hasn't found an entire kill yet, but he's now going for the Overlook. Minus 90 gets taken down by Mozart with an MG42. 3-3 is the score, and now NEWERA has officially tied up.
And to be honest, the most beautiful part is that this was actually the first game on the stream today. And it is the last game as well. To start and close this Championship Sunday.
You know, there is the
having very
phrase
different paths
which
to the
says
victory.
that time is a flat circle. And it certainly is true, as once again, Reason are very, very brave. After getting 3 kills, Mozart and Kirba now return the favor as we are heading into a 3 versus 2. There's 1 minute 30 left. And Kirba and Mozart are flying around, getting kills all over the place. With a nice headshot, opens bomb side A for his teammate. And now Pavadox is on the chase. Mozart looking to help his teammate who's flying across the map towards his location. Pavadox is on the hunt, however, the prey is nowhere to be found anymore. Meanwhile, Patty Shepard, in a very passive position, is looking to find Mozart very soon.
2 versus 2. For now, both Axis players staying in the shadows, waiting for the chance to strike. Paradox, he's aware of Kirba's position. It might be a huge advantage for him. He's the one to look for this fight first, but the first shot misses. As now has to retreat, but there's still party with scope. He finds Mozart, not letting the plant to happen on side. It seems like Reason Gaming will be able to take this one from NEWERA's hands. It was a great try from both Mozart and Kirba, but here was Party with the scope, patiently waiting for them to go here.
Some friendly banter in the chat. Skills talking about Mozart. However, one thing I've heard on the last match of Reason Gaming is them praising Patty Shepard for his efforts. And this round just confirmed to us that Shepard is now absolutely dominating these last few matches, and this current one seems the same so far, with 10 kills already on the scope. With 1 man down, he is looking for a way to equalize the situation for his team. There we go, another frag for Patty. Strumfich is going down along with Nodix. 3 versus 2 now. And we have Mozart with a scope and then 1 Grand planning the bomb in a couple of moments. Pavlov's trying to find him through the smoke, but is not quite sure how to shoot him. Patty Shepard gets taken down, but he gets Mozart before doing so. Pavadox is now left in the 1 versus 1 with Kirba getting a crazy shot onto Pavadox. 4-4. We are tied up once again. And now even Skills is saying well played.
And what a fantastic clutch by Kirba. Especially that shot on Spirit. Finding that headshot so quickly was so important. Because then Kirba could have focused on another fight and bring this clutch to life. 4-4. Skills with the first elimination, but now both Mozart and Kirba finding great shots here. Mozart with the scope, catching Paradox while trying to take any position around the sides. NEWERA, we've seen them taking those rounds where Reason is leading, but now it's them with 1 man advantage. And only Spirit's position being any kind of inconvenience here, but Kirba already found Skills. Spirit now on his back, but there's also Nodix. Gabox finding Mozart. And his actions from Spirit actually bring him some line of play for Reason Gaming here. It's the only player that tried to get the refrag. He was immediately eliminated, but now Nodix finding the timing on Spirit. It is 2 versus 1 with only Gabox alive, as he has no secondary. He will have to fight this with the shotgun. Nodix very close, and Gabox might be bringing this to 1v1 if he can find the right timing, but in the meantime, Strumfish cleaning A side, and Gabox gets the kill. 1 versus 1, and finally Gabox picking up that secondary weapon, but it doesn't matter as Strumfish finds a way straight to his head. NEWERA 5, Reason Gaming 4.
Reason Gaming's defense is now looking to be increasingly weaker as NEWERA finds the dents in the armor. But it looks like we are looking at a different strategy, as Patty Shepard is now going to boost himself up on top of the bomb plant, but then fails to do his jump properly. And now he sees an opponent at B-Tank, misses the shot, and now retreats to a higher position. Skills getting the first kill. Nodix goes down. The Spirit coming alongside. Kirba following up. And now Skills has joined the spectator list as well. We have a 3 versus 3 on our hands. With most of Reason Gaming hiding behind the overlook.
Paddy looking for a way to bring advantage one more time to Reason Gaming here, and NEWERA slowly taking their time to once again attack for the A side. An important part on Paddy's side to find this kill. Benku now with the rotation. Shroomfish had to double down on that plan and finally eliminate the enemy sniper. Mozart right now catching Gabox on the rotation as it's Paradox as the only one standing. Already caught by Shroomfish here. He will go for the second fight, and now this car trying to get the elimination, but Mozart with help. And 2 players on 1 on open space. Couldn't have ended in a different way. With no room for Paradox for the outplay as NEWERA gets the 6 points. With 3 rounds won in a row, NEWERA slowly starting to take the lead here. Can Reason react in time? Or will be NEWERA ending this half with a 3D decent advantage? Going in the second half of this Matmata, because now Mozart starts with the kill. And both Party and Paradox having great responses, although Benku is now on the push. Benku outplaying with that movement. Benku still in that fight. But the longer it gets, the bigger chance that someone from Reason Gaming will come to help, and finally Party will be the one to find this headshot. As Reason Gaming are calming the situation on bomb side A, getting only 2 NEWERA players alive. But they are there for the action as Mozart finds Paradox. Now Kirba in the trouble. He's not able to retreat, but Mozart for that one. It is a 1v1 between him and Party one more time. The scope players going head to head, and this time Party being the one to take the victory here.
Once again, Mozart showing why he is the scope of NEWERA. Finding an insane way to open up the bomb side A. However, it wasn't enough as he was defeated in the 1v1 against Patty. And now Winotix, first one to go down, the Paradox nade. The newest addition to the team, proving to be useful. However, Kirba now finds him along with Benku. Killing Spirit. Reason is now in trouble. There's a fake bomb plant going on bomb side A. Skills dodging the bullets through the smoke. Hoping to live. Fight another day. Gobbles is going down the middle, which means there's no shotgun anymore, and now Patty Shepard is out. Skills in the 1v4. Let's see if he can do anything, but Shroomfish coming down like Batman kills him. 7-5 is how we end up on the first half. And now, this time, Reason Gaming is going to attack.
So it is NEWERA with a small advantage after the first half of Matmata. And this map kind of became a tradition as it's 3rd time in a row as Reason Gaming is starting their first match of the series by far. Both of those Matmatas won in a convincing way. 13-9, 13-7. But seems like 13-7 might be a bit out of the reach for Reason Gaming here. But the victory is definitely not off the table as NEWERA is only 2 points ahead, and now Reason can take the ally side here. Waiting just for one more player for skills to give us the green light to continue with this grand finals. And let's see if Reason can come back, if Reason can show us that they deserve to be on top, or NEWERA will show us why they haven't lost a single match on this tournament.
Seems like so far, both teams are trying to get the most out of this timeout, as we see both Kirba and Skills declining the continue button. We have 36 seconds left before either teams can force the game to continue. And hopefully we won't have to wait more time than that. And until then, feel free to enjoy whatever is happening on the screen. I'm not quite sure what exactly this is. And now we have Gobox asking if people are ready, and now the match continue screen has arrived, and in 3 seconds the second half will resume.
So right now, starting the second half of this first map, Nate's already flying down. Seems like no casualties yet until Gabox finds himself straight at the Benku's Nate. Stroomfish with another one. New Era with the great setup here to already weaken Reason's attack a lot. As here, the British, the ally side, is trying to go for the push. Mozart caught by Paddy. A great position taken by him. Surprising Mozart from the ground. Kirba once more. Paddy trying to push as far as he can, but he's the only one scoring the eliminations. As New Era are getting the rest of his team killed and bringing point number 8 to their side. Leading this game by 3 points right now. And Reason, this time they got caught by surprise with those nades. Can they dodge them this time and look for a much better fight with much more even chances?
Once again, NEWERA in the later stage of this map is thinking of throwing into an aim fest as they are just running around, taking the initiative at every fight. Even though they are defending, we see 3 Reason Gaming players going down. And now Pavadox is looking for his opponent on the B plant, and is now in a very close fight. Takes down Kirba, and now Gabox is now the only one left after Pavadox died. And there we go. Nodex takes down the last Reason Gaming player, which means we are 9-5. Reason Gaming is now in the distance for NEWERA. However, they still need 4 more rounds to win this map. And Reason Gaming is still not over just yet. Gabox on the overlook, looking at Strumfitch, hearing his footsteps. And now Benku using that time kills Gabox on the overlook. Shepard getting Kirba, making sure that his teammate is avenged. And now the bomb gets planted. Strumfitch goes down. Skills with the Liam field. Is very accurate. Pavadox as well, continuing the fragging. Nodex left alone, 1 versus 4. Let's see what he does in middle. Switches to a car 98, but Pavadox from behind gets another frag, and now it's 9-6. Reason Gaming has found their first round in the second half.
Reason Gaming finally with the first point on the ally side here. We are still holding on to that lead. Kirba with the scope, looking for something, but now Benku losing this battle with Gabox. Spirit is already planting the bomb. A very fast push coming here from Reason Gaming. Nodex misses. That was a great chance to make things even, but now Gabox with the second one, and Paddy following on Nodex. Pavadox, a beautiful push by Reason Gaming, followed by the series of eliminations and another single moment when New Era stood a chance against such a force coming to the side. Reason Gaming with a fantastic push, 7-9, as they are still chasing the score here to bring themselves to the victory on the first map on this best of 3.
Seems like we are seeing a repeat of what has happened so far in the last few matches of Reason Gaming. First not finding their footing on the map, but now teamwork has kicked in. But now NEWERA is looking to break that cycle as they kill 3 players without a response. Now it's a 5 versus 2 as Gabox and now Pavadox are trying to remedy the situation, trying to save what is left of this one. Benku continuing with a kill. Gabox is out, and now Pavadox's scope is the only thing that can make a dent. However, we see Benku getting the last frag with a crazy jump kill. 10-7. NEWERA only needs 3 more to win this map.
And it is a moment for Reason to call for a timeout, as even though they are finding points, it's still not enough to catch up to NEWERA, and you are slowly running out of time to do this, since it's only 3 more points needed for NEWERA to win the first map of the series. And basing on the facts from other matches, I would be guessing that this is the pick from Reason Gaming. So if NEWERA is able to win this map, they might be favorable to go for the victory of 2-0. But let's not let's not hop into the future, since there's still plenty of time on this map to come back for Reason Gaming. But NEWERA right now looking very good after that very decent attacking side. Now as the Axis are looking well as well. It's of course 3-2 after the swap, but it's still NEWERA having those small victories, small skirmishes, with the only rounds completely dominated by Reason was the one round when they found the timing for a perfect fast push and also completely overwhelmed NEWERA with amount of bullets, with amount of people, with amount of everything going into the A side. But we did see that NEWERA momentarily adapted and they couldn't be tricked by the same play twice. So now you have to come up with something new, and you have to come up with it 6 times to win this map without losing too many points in the process. 7-10. And NEWERA, they will just take this moment to maybe even run around a bit more, play with the movement, as you do have to reconsider that the last match that they played ended at like 6 p.m. or something like that. It was a long wait for those guys to find a worthy opponent for this grand final. But we finally have Reason Gaming coming back from this lower bracket, trying to take them down. They got the second chance, but right now it's still NEWERA on the lead, trying to repeat the same victory that they found on the very beginning of the stream like 14 hours ago.
There we go. Our second timeout on this map, which was once again called in by Reason Gaming, is now coming to an end. And now, at the 45th minute of this match, we are continuing off from 10-7 on the first map, which is Matmara. NEWERA leading, and Reason now 3 points down. Still looking to attack, and now looking very favorable for an 8-1. As you see the bomb going down, but also 2 NEWERA players joining the spectator list. Gabox looking at the smoke, trying to catch an opponent off guard. Now we see Spirit and Skills getting 1 kill each, and then Skills doubling it. Strumpich is the last one to go down, which means we have 10-8. Reason Gaming is coming right up.
The timeout bringing once again the points. And now, the moment that the Reason Gaming waited for, to see if they can finally cancel that 3-point lead. Pavidas with the great nade, but Mozart already seeking for revenge. Skills trying to go for the push, but Mozart going absolutely berserk with 2 eliminations already coming from his side. Let's see this one more time. Mozart, I have no idea how he's seeing those people in such hard positions. Not even talking about the reaction and the precision of those shots. But that's why those 2 teams are in the finals. That's exactly why we see them the way we see them. 4 against 3. Reason Gaming not trying to figure out the way of outplaying that defense. Pavadox hoping to catch someone with the scope. But seems like NEWERA players are not getting into this. Nordics with the jump shot. 1 taps Pavadox, making this 4 versus 2. As it's now only Skills and Gabox left. And NEWERA once more might bring this 3-point advantage, and the further we go into the map, the more dangerous this advantage is, since Reason Gaming has less and less space for the comeback. 40 seconds on the clock. Can Reason Gaming still take this rounds?
35 seconds left. Gabox will now have to make a choice where to go. I'll just save his weapon for this round, and now it seems that he is heading towards A, having found his first opponent. Sees a second sniper through the wall, but cannot quite get the frag. Kirba goes down, and now the last 2 opponents are just to the right of him, and now the shotgun will come really close and cannot get the frag on the first hit, but Strumpich gets the frag. 11-8 is our new score as NEWERA defuses the bomb.
It was a nice try here coming from Reason Gaming, considering the fact that it was 2 against 4. But the fact is that no one cares about the style. You could have done a great job this round, could have been close. We will forget it in 20 minutes, 40, an hour, 2. But the score, the winner. This is what we remember, a new era still on the lead. To be the winner that we remember. Benku going for the push, going through that nade, but Garbox finding Mozart, so no repeat for him after the last round, but Strumpfish activating himself. Benku found by Party, but Strumpfish trying to strike once again, being the only one to fight for this side. Gets one. And Pavadox with response Nordics coming here to help. 2 versus 3. But Reason Gaming this time, using the fact that they bought the entry with that nade, are having a lead and trading 1 for 1 for 1 to make it go to the 3v2, with them having better positions, with them having more people to fight with. And now Nodex already being spotted, but another great jump shot from him, and Pavadox won't be here fast enough to get the kill. So it is 2v2, and still a brink of chance for New Era to find map points right now. It's Reason Gaming are once again taking it slowly. Pavadox trying to close the distance to A side. We already see Kirba coming close on the staircase, and Nordics waiting for someone to push through that angle. 40 seconds on the timer. As now Spirits is going above on those roofs, trying to make some noise, trying to bait someone, trying to force someone to push, but Nordics deciding to take another approach, as he wants to go further away to try and catch them off guard. Reason Gaming surprised that side is so empty, but it's just Nordics being on the back, finding kill on the Spirit, and Reason once more not caring about the fact that this is 2v3. It's still them. It's still those 2 strong players, and Kirba coming in. 12-8. 4 map points for New Era here on Matmata.
Seems like Reason Gaming still hasn't found the way, the magic ingredient for this matchup just yet. As now they are 4 points away from staying alive for this map. New Era only needs a single point before we head on to map 2, which means that Reason Gaming has no room for error. We will need perfect attacks from now on. And this time, 2 of the players, in fact 3, are on the first street, looking towards A bomb site. We haven't found any kills yet, but they now know that the opponents are now trying to rush in to defend, and they are getting the first kills. Reason Gaming is down 2 people. And it is looking very dangerous for the British side, as Pavadox cannot find the frag along with his teammates. Now we are looking at Gobox sneaking through the smoke. None of the New Era players suspect anything, as now Gobox gets a double kill. Strumpfish and Mozart is out, which means the bomb site has been opened. And now we could be looking at a 3rd kill. Benku goes down as Gobox takes down the B player. Nodex is trying to remedy the situation along with Kirba coming along from B. Spirit is planning the bomb. Let's see if Nodex can kill him. But it seems that Spirit is now seeking refuge in the corner, but Spirit jumps out randomly and kills Nodex, and now Kirba will come from middle.
And what an incredible round by Garbox. He's the one to keep Reason Gaming alive on this map, as it seems like Kirba won't be able to find this clutch. And to think that it looked so good for New Era here, that it should have been the end of this map. And since those first 2 kills, they weren't able to find even 1 shot on Reason Gaming, as Garbox completely obliterates 3 players, making this 12-9. Reason Gaming still alive on this map, still fighting for the overtime here. And now it will be a lot harder since Reason Gaming are pushing with the whole squad skills already going above. Party having some trouble. Benki going for the double one more time. Spirit finally finding a kill. Mozart and Nordics, and it's now only Pavadox going down. So it is coming down to the 13 points of New Era, getting the victory here. And it does seem that New Era will be leading this final 1-0 right now. Oh, what a fantastic Matmata here, but still it was New Era
And there we
holding
go.
the lids.
We
And
are
now-
heading over to a slower kind of map. Dawnville will be our second choice. And we will see if the teams want to continue already or if we are looking for a quick break.
It seems
From
like
my point of view, I cannot see for certain if the players do want to take a pause.
So it
Yes.
seems like we are going for the short break. 3-4 minutes to drink some water, to go to the toilet, to get a quick grasp of pressure. And after that, we are ready to go to the Dawnville when New Era will try to win the Grand Finals and Reason Gaming will try to fight back. Let's see who can bring this home and who will go out with the second place. See you guys in a few minutes. So, seems like we are back to this grand finals. New Era winning the first map 13-9, and now it is Dawnville. New Era, of course, as the allies here, as Reason Gaming decides to go with the Axis. Banku already looking for the first heal. We might see once more Reason Gaming with a slow style, but that will happen after the swap. Right now it is New Era as the allies here, as I said, and Mozart already victim to that nade from Paradox. 4 versus 5. Strumpfish pushing for the orphanage, but Reason Gaming with a very far position from the action, as A side is taking from the behind. And Spirit finds Nodix. It's starting to look really worthwhile Reason in the first round of this map. Nades are coming in. And Skill. This is the moment when he is activating himself. No smoke means a lot of vision here, and Party finding Cuba. Smoke finally being placed, but it is too late because already 2 more players are eliminated, leaving only Strumpfish on the board here for New Era. And seems like this time we won't see a spectacular clutch. It will just be first point coming here for Reason Gaming, as they presented us with a fantastic defense here, not even using half of the nades that they had for the round. It is impressive, I have to say. But every nade that are thrown toward New Era was thrown for a reason. If you see what I'm doing right now.
Axis win.
And just to get a confirmation, the reasons right now, getting points number 1 of the big series. Skills. Already seeking for another opener, as New Era decides to go with the very standard setup here. Just keeping control of the graveyard for the first seconds of the round. With 1 player on Sniper's house, looking for some eliminations. Kibra right now. He knows where to look right now because of those scans, because of the fire cost here by players pushing from the orphanage. Cuba hoping to find someone on the rotation. But right now it will be Nodix with a great mission on coming towards the gate, pushing through those A walls. The Reason Gaming with 3 people stacked so close to one another in the Sniper's house, and Skills is the only one taking care of the orphanage here. While New Era are trying to construct an attack, scans coming from Nodix, lots of them to make as much noise as possible, to bait a reaction and get some more info to work with. As now Nodix is trying to do some diversion here. We do see, for example, Mozart going further and further away. He's now trying to get elimination for himself. Strumpfish also pushing for the B side. New Era 25 seconds. Strumpfish going here for the push. 2 players inside, and Spirit will find the first elimination of the round with 20 seconds to go. Right now, New Era struggling to go forward. Is now Nodix. It's caught by Garbox. Paradox as well with elimination and Party. And Garbox in a clean round coming here from Reason Gaming. 2-0 right now. And New Era deciding to go with the really slow approach. But Reason Gaming already knowing what to do in such case. And from the first to last kill, everything controlled by the Axis here to make this 2-0 and start with a nice advantage here on the Dawnville. Paradox finding Nodix. Once more, it will be Reason Gaming to find the first elimination of the round. Bank with the nade, but now Spirit decided actually to push. And it is a surprise for New Era players, and now they are 2 men behind with only 3 soldiers left on the field. But it seems like Reason Gaming will just play by their rules, not wanting to do much more than those 2 first eliminations. as it's already fantastic spot for them to be in. Mozart now in the tough fight, trying to chase one of the players down, but Skills only waiting for him to show up to the side. Another kill by Reason Gaming and New Era right now. What might sound actually absurd is not able to find a single kill, and I'm not talking about this round. New Era hasn't found a single frag in this match yet, and it's 3 rounds into this Dawnville.
45 seconds on the clock, and Kirba is now looking to find the defenders. Oh, Dawnville. One of them is actually right behind him and receives a bash from Spirit. Leaves Strumfitch as the last person standing, who is looking to go in the Axis Sniper Tower. Almost goes down as Gobox is looking for the kill. Strumfitch gets killed in the end by Gobox, and now Reason Gaming has a 3-0 lead. There we go. The highlight of this round definitely was that bash from Spirit from behind. However, it didn't have a lot of impact, as NEWERA had already lost a lot of players at that point.
And this is absolutely absurd that 3 rounds, 1 by 1, flawless by Reason Gaming, with New Era not being able to do literally anything. Pavadox already trying to go for the control. A fantastic shot to take down Nordics. Now Pavadox under the fire, but Gabox here to help. Reason Gaming are working as a one machine, and now Strumpy for the first kill for New Era in this match. Benku with the follow weapon. Now those kills might finally mean New Era coming to the scoreboard as well. But Skills' position should be very problematic. Skills with some troubles, but finds killer Strumpfish Kirba. Eliminating party 2 versus 2. As the topic of the scoring team on this round is still very much open. Skills and Spirit going for the push. But Spirit right now on the Kirba's crosser. And it's only Skills fighting for this point. We know that Benku is hidden in his house on the upper floor, waiting for his chance to strike. As now Kirba can just go to B side and go for the plant. Oh! I think he clipped through the wall. I think you could have seen part of his gun. Skills aware that there should be one player. Skills. Can he find him? Still not being able to do so, but now expecting him in that exact corner. Easy kill for Skill. And now it's 1v1. Once again, we will see this scope fight. The difference is that Skills actually has a secondary here. Kirba or Skills, who can take the rounds? As we now see Skills finally deciding to go through the gates. Kirba will not respond, and Skills with a beautiful clutch. So even though that New Era finds those eliminations, it doesn't change the fact that it's still Reason Gaming as the only team to get points on Dawnville.
Right as I was talking about Skills on Matmara, once again he is proving why he is one of the main choices for the scope. There were some beautiful shots taken by the Hungarian scope this time, and it did have its fruit, as they are now looking at 4-0, and they're still on the favorable side, so we could see a lot more continuing on. And actually, Skills is the only player currently on the server with 0 deaths. That is an interesting statistic, and I wonder how long he can keep that up.
New Era really struggling in those opening parts of the round, but now finally Strumpfish being able to go for the more aggressive push with the shotgun, finding Party completely unaware of the situation. In last round, even though that there was an advantage coming from New Era, we did see that one pixel being extracted to New Era there, but now Mozart. We finally see New Era awakening on this map, as they are getting much more and more active. Early in those 3 first rounds, they seem so passive, they seem so defenseless against Reason Gaming, just doing whatever they like on the server. Want to go fast? Okay. Want to go slow? Okay. Reason Gaming is presenting you with them all strategies possible for them. And now Spirits
Axis eliminated.
Still with the fight, but
Allies
it's
win.
not much more that he could have done, so Mozart will just go for the triple here. And now NEWERA finally bringing some of their own style to this match. To try and get back with the score. Of course, we know that on Dawnville, you do want to be as the Axis. Reason had the privilege of choosing the side as this map of NEWERA's choice. And the question is, how many points NEWERA needs to win this when they switch to Axis?
I think the note here is that NEWERA's playstyle is not really suited for this map, as Dawnville really is slow compared to what NEWERA usually plays. But the thing is, we are talking about a team who's definitely strong on all of the maps in the map pool. It doesn't even matter what you put in the map pool, as long as it is an official competitive map, they are surely good on it. But right now, Reason Gaming gets another kill. Pavadox with his grenade, finding the kill. BenQ is going down, and now Nodex is his next target, who is retreating to the safety of the church, and is now looking into skills' scope.
Allies eliminated.
And now Spirit gets the last kill. 5-1 is our new score. NEWERA cannot get a streak going. At least not so far.
5-1. And an absolutely mad round from Reason Gaming, pushing NEWERA from the sides of their own spawn. But those are the type of ideas, those are the type of rounds that you want to see in the GrandFinals. And now BenQ already in the scrimmage, putting Pavadox on low HP, but the stack won't help him find elimination as Pavadox is able to recover, and now Skills making sure that Nodex cannot come back from this one. Beautiful nade to start the round once more. Kirba also with the push, but Skills striking once again. BenQ being the first one to score from NEWERA's side. But it's once more Reason Gaming completely setting the rules on the server as Gabok strikes as well. 4 against 2, and it seems like Reason Gaming will go up 6-1 against NEWERA on Dawnville. And even though that it is Axis-sided map, it's still not enough. This 1 point won't hold its value if Reason Gaming will continue to play like that on the Axis side.
We should not write off the NEWERA guys just yet, as we have NEWERA with 2 players remaining. Now only one. BenQ has the only one left. Damages Pavadox, and now gets eliminated from behind. Skills gets the kill, and now 6-1 is in the bag for Reason. We are heading into the 8th round of this matchup. And remember, this is our second map in this best of 3 in the GrandFinals, which doesn't have a map advantage, so we are definitely looking at a possible 3 full maps if it comes down to it. The first map was won by NEWERA, 13-9 on Matmara, and now here on the second map, you see Reason Gaming getting another kill, Spirit getting a second one. BenQ and Nodex are already out in church, and now Spirit relaying information that there are more people. Gabox and Skills continuing. Kirba is now left alone. He finds one person, but gets taken down by Skills. 7-1 is our score. It seems like Reason Gaming wants to go really fast to that third one.
7-1, and this is timeout for NEWERA. You have to intervene right now, as NEWERA cannot do anything. And Nodex, actually, I mean, we are kind of messing up the flags, because in last map, allies actually were the British, but now it's Americans, so I don't think that James Bond is really suited for this environment.
The score, however, is still there, meaning that Nodex still hasn't found the kill yet, which is a huge problem for NEWERA so far, as they haven't found the weakness in this defense that Reason Gaming is putting up, which makes it the obvious choice for them, which could be a huge trouble for NEWERA. If they cannot close this one out, who knows what will happen on the third one. And right now we have 1 minute left from this timeout, and none of the players want to continue just yet. And now it seems that the first Reason Gaming players are now pressing the magical F button. Nobody on NEWERA wants to continue thus far. Until then, we are seeing people just walking around, potentially talking about new strategies, new avenues. And the magical rabbit bunny being pulled out of the bag, meaning that we will have something crazy going on, potentially. We have 20 seconds left, and we are seeing that 4 more players are needed to continue the battle. 2 on each side. Specifically, Shepard, Gobox, Kirba, and Strumfitch are the ones we are waiting for. And now the 2 minutes are done. If either team presses F, then we are immediately continuing. And there we go. NEWERA is forcing the resume, which means we are continuing from 7-1 on the first half in Dawnville. Reason Gaming is still on the Axis side.
But still some time for NEWERA here to fight for even the smallest points, even the smallest victories as the allies here. To look for the best possible score before we change sides to try and win this as the Axis. We know that Reason will definitely take their time as the allies, remembering that map against Complexy, but we've also seen them fail to win this Dawnville. Remember the fantastic comeback presented to us. It was their turn to go to the Axis side, and now Mozart tries to push for the open edge, but Pavadox not letting anyone in. Not now, not ever. This position is completely unpenetrable for NEWERA. The only place where they found any success, beside that one round that they won, was B-side, where actually Strumfish was able to find few eliminations, where they were able to find some place for the pushes, for the attacks, and for the chance of victory. Right now, Benku will be the one to go for the push. With the nice jump to bait the shots. Getting into those houses, and Benku baiting. Oh no!
And there we go. There's our first friendly fire in the grand
Nodix
final.
actually being in negative KD.
That is actually very, very bad. Getting a team kill in the grand finals. And now the worst part is that was his first frag on the match, but gets a second one. He finds an enemy this time. Skills. Kills with a headshot. And now Nodix trying to find another dent in the armor. Kirba getting a kill on the Spirit. A quick one tap.
Allies eliminated.
Kills
Axis win.
the rifle, but there we have Gobox finishing off the round. 8-1 is our new score. And it seems like Reason Gaming still hasn't stopped with this killing spree.
And it seemed so decent. The start, the push, all of the space gained by NEWERA, and this one nade by Nordics completely denying all of the terrain taken now party. With the nade, Pavadox once more striking here. Mozart finally getting him out of this position. And nade needed for that. But we do see Reason Gaming coming to strike at the very beginning of the round. This time, wanting to go for an aggressive rounds. But all of those fights will resume. Only 2 players eliminated. Now Kirba finding Gabox. Is this the time for NEWERA to finally get the second point? And still hope to stop Reason from going double digits in the first half.
Skills now wedged into a corner of bomb side A. Here's a few steps near Orphan, and now relaying that to his teammates. Is now afraid that he's gonna get overrun. However, he still has help coming from Patty Shepard, but it's only a merely Car 98. And there we go. Both of the area defenders are going down. 4 versus 1 for Spirit, who only has a Car 98 himself. And now the Luger is being pulled out. 52 HP minus on Nodix. And now Spirit running away. Sees the enemy, and now Nodix gets his second frag in the match. Finding Spirit, getting 8-2 in the process.
NEWERA finally getting another point. I kind of see a pattern here. Four rounds for Reason, and then NEWERA striking once. It did happen twice this match, but it's not something that NEWERA is happy with, and they definitely do not want to continue that trend. We do see a small scrimmage between Pavadox and Nordics, with Nordics trying to tame down, but shot with not being accurate enough. Also now Banky with the skirmish, and NEWERA trying to take over the orphanage, or at least bait some utility out of the Reason Gaming. We do see 2 nades going in, and no one going out. So this mission is a small success for NEWERA, but it's just a part of the plan of this round. We do need much more than that. But those small successes, those small steps, are what will build NEWERA's way to the side to get a chance of fighting. Smoke already on site. This nade not precise enough to get Benku out. Scans, fantastic from Benku. Finally capitalizing on Pavadox being on a similar spot round after round. But now Gabox already here with the shotgun, finding 2 eliminations. Small skills and Kirba all with those kills. But seems like it's still pretty decent situation for Reason to be in. At least for now, but Kirba now finding refract on skills. Spirit making this 1v1. A very important one for NEWERA as they really want this point. Number 3, but Spirit finds the head and finds the kill. Reason Gaming taking round 11 to make this 9-2. Being so close right now to bringing us to the decider. The one map that will decide it all and tell us which team will take the trophy home.
Now on the second map, looking at Spirit's name, one might think he sold his soul to the devil with the amount of kills he's getting, and especially the impact he is having so far on this defensive side. But the same can be said for Skills, who is a very stark contrast compared to Nodix, who pretty much is having immense difficulties trying to find frags so far on the allied side. We are once again seeing concentration towards the Orf section of the map. Skills doesn't know that there's an enemy in the middle of Orf. And if he goes to the right, he could be looking at trouble real quick. And now Gobox is relaying info that we have an enemy retreating from Orf. Mozart was looking for some information. And let's see what NEWERA is going to do with that. They still have 1 minute to act on it. And it seems that it will be an Orf rush once again, as 3 players are now heading into the entrance of Orf. But we also have 4 players from Reason concentrating on the A side.
And let's see who can win this fight. As it is Reason's terrain, but NEWERA will try to conquer and divide, conquer. All of this to take this point. Gabox not dying to the nade, and once again being a huge help with the party here. 1 kill from Gabox, 2 from Party, 1 from Skills. Not a chance. NEWERA, I kind of have a feeling like they went for this off rush with no better option in their minds. But Reason Gaming being fully prepared, and it's hard to even call that an rush when they announce so thoroughly, hey, we are going here. Reason went to prepare. Reason did everything they could to make this as hard as possible. And once more, they are the ones to easily clean the round. 10-2. NEWERA completely demolished on the first side of the map. But now, the tricky part for Reason Gaming. This is the moment that you need 3. Only 3 points to win this map and bring this whole series to the score of 1-1. 3 points. Even though that it might sound easy, it is a bit scary because different things happen, and we've seen NEWERA go on crazy streaks. But you have to keep in mind that NEWERA seemed very weak by far on this map. Like they lack energy needed to break through Reason's gaming. Like they are trying to drive up hills and losing power. just before they go over the top, rolling back to the square one, which might happen if Reason is able to win this map, because it will bring us a score of 1-1 and only one map being a deciding factor of who wins and who is just a runner-up of this tournament.
There is one important thing that we do need to note before we head on over to the second side, is that we have already seen NEWERA in a similar situation in a defender-oriented map, but that time was Carentan instead of Dawnville. However, NEWERA ended up with only 3 points against the 9, and then went into the more favorable side and actually won the map in the later rounds. They were dominating the enemy. However, the power differences between that enemy and now Reason are immense. And now we are seeing Mozart getting the first frag. Patty Shepard is out. We are left with one less Reason gaming player. And Spirit in a very powerful position. Taking refuge in the upstairs section of the Axis sniper house. He is looking around for footsteps, trying to get some info.
But it's still
And now
absurd that he
relaying
got
it
here
over
so
to his
fast.
teammates.
NEWERA might be completely unaware of the fact that he's there indeed. Should bring lots of value here for Reason Gaming, as now Spirit is going for the push. His position a bit more obvious, as he could have gone here from the middle. Skills hunting around B sides. Reason Gaming taking their time, as they cannot really afford any more losses right now. 50 seconds on the clock. We know that it's definitely too early for them. And Benku now finding Spirits. So another one bites the dust as Skills is trying to recover. Skills finding one, but Benku already going for the double here. And it's only Skills and Pavadox. Pavadox trying to push on A. Half a minute right now, but seems like this time NEWERA should be able to score. Nordics with another one. And it's only Pavadox fighting right now, so NEWERA, they might have been struggling as the allies here. But no, this is the Axis side. This is where they feel comfortable. And we do see that comfort slowly coming back. Nordics with a kill. Benku with the double. Mozart as well with a great opener to add it. And NEWERA, this is the moment. They might be waking up and trying to go for the victory right here, right now on this Dawnville.
NEWERA looks like is taking a book out of the Reason Gaming playbook. Going with a passive approach, not peeking. And right as I say it, Skills runs into the crosshair of Nordics. 4 versus 5 remaining. With the attackers having a disadvantage in terms of manpower. And now Mozart retreating back to their spawn. Minus 90 for Benku. Trying to kill Pavadox, who now has recovered from that HP loss. Now Nordics getting a double frag. Pavadox and Shepard are down. We're left with Spirit and Gobox. Best friends trying to defuse the situation. And now Gobox is the only one left, trying to find someone in Sniper House, which is now completely empty.
And Nordic seeing like completely different player after the swap. A triple kill this round already. It would be 2 rounds and 4 kills already for Nordics. Doubling down on what he was able to find in the first half of the map. Gabox still just trying to survive here. Just trying to chill in the house, man. As NEWERA will get point number 2 after the swap. 10-4. Still pretty solid advantage on Reason's gaming side, of course, but the
Considering
objective
the amount
changed.
of inactivity from Gobox's part, it could be possible that he was looking for a way to discuss strategy. Now the time is ticking down without having to call in a timeout. So we are possibly looking at a bit of a different philosophy on how to attack NEWERA. So far, it doesn't seem to work out as Gobox is the first one to go down. Now Shepard looking for a way to get a kill in Orf. Mozart getting a kill. Is now retreating back to safety. There's 3 more grenades left on Reason Gaming side. With only a smoke on Stromfich's part. And now BenQ rushing up on the street. Takes down Spirit. And we see Shepard going down. BenQ overextends. And now Skills kills him. Mozart is now shooting towards Paradox's direction. Along with some help from Stromfich. Could be looking to push. There we go. Mozart is going down. Stromfich is slowly retreating to safety. But the problem is still looming for Paradox, as the shotgun is also equipped with the Car 98 there. He's got 50 seconds to try and figure out a way to kill him. However, Stromfich just simply peeks out and makes it 10-5. NEWERA with a 3-round streak.
And it was hard to find a way out here, just because Stromfish could have been everywhere with that shotgun, and him just choosing the first angle possible to catch last of Reason's Gaming players. And we do see that this time they will decide to take a timeout, as there's no Gabox nor anyone to start the rounds. 10-5. They do recognize that they might be in the similar spot as NEWERA was a few moments ago. And now we are slowly starting to question, are those 10 points from Axis side enough? Of course, it's too early to fully think about those things. But still, the fact that for those first few rounds, Reason Gaming couldn't really do much. We haven't seen those kill scores going up that high, with only singular eliminations that were gotten by NEWERA just overextending in the moments when it didn't really even matter. And by the way, if we take into consideration that Nodex got a -1 from the team kill, Nodex is not last in his team, and even considering the -1, Nodex is now not the last player on the server when it comes to those kills. So a great comeback by him, and we might keep an eye on this one, because I do think that Nodex might do something much more impressive in this half. I just have this hunch that we might see something incredible coming from him.
Indeed, it seems that the NEWERA scope has finally found his way onto a consistent fragging schedule. And right now, with 15 seconds left from this timeout, neither team is looking ready to continue. So far, first one to press F is Nodex himself. He is probably bored of all the strategy talk right now. And now NEWERA forcing the timeout to be skipped. In the 5 seconds, we are continuing the match between Reason Gaming and NEWERA in the Grand Finals on the second map. 10-5 is the Reason Gaming lead, but still do note NEWERA is now on the advantageous side. And since the first half, we haven't seen any Reason Gaming victories yet.
And let's see what Reason can offer us after this timeout. They would love to get their first point here before NEWERA gets too close to the score. Nate being completely far away from Kirba, so he doesn't have to care about this one. Reason once more going slowly, and this time without any additional peaks. Just keeping the graveyard, just keeping not even the off, since they're far away from the off, like the whole squad just waiting for someone from NEWERA to push, but NEWERA deciding that it's not the road to attack here. And the peaceful way of playing is also fantastic for them. Kirba donates. What will be missing. Right now we can hear the smoke coming in. Kirba forced to dodge, and BenQ going with the nade. BenQ trying to seek someone in that smoke, but has to be careful since still there's Spirit in a problematic position if NEWERA goes a bit too far on the middle. Now BenQ losing that duel with Party. So one of NEWERA players got baited by the strategy from Reason, as now they can go and try to force Kirba to surrender here by bringing 3 players against just one. Also, The Sniper's House taken by Reason Gaming. Strumpfish, Nordics, and Skills. Many eliminations, but still not an answer to the question who will be winning this round. Nordics. He was trying to get that shot. Needs some help, but Strumpfish and Mozart being a great cover here for him. Winning only Skills, and Mozart once more with a fantastic nade. 6-10. And even though it seems like the Reason Gaming might find a way for a moment, it's still New Era with a fantastic defense and with those great reactions coming in handy. 4 points in a row. As now New Era are closing this gap to Reason Gaming by half, from 8 to only 4 points.
Looks like this 4-round streak of New Era seems to be the story from early morning, looking to be retold in a different setting. Right now, Mozart and Banky are the first ones to go down. B side is completely devoid of any defenders, which Kirba is now fixing. Coming over to B, and now slowly peeking towards the middle, trying to catch any church or street players off guard. Let's see who he finds first there. Meanwhile, Spirit making sure that there's no aggression coming over. Is now looking at the last minute of this current round. Two of the players huddled up in church, waiting for the signal. Spirit is now throwing the magic grenade. Let's see where it lands. Didn't kill anybody, however, Gobbox kills Strumpfish. And now Nodex getting a kill into Shepard, which means we are looking at a 2 versus 4. Kirba now hears the bomb plant, however, does not have a grenade to deny it. And there we go, bomb has been planted. Nodex is now looking at 55 seconds on the clock, which is now working against him. He is now looking for a way to find the invaders who have planted this bomb on him. And he knows that one of them is already an Orph. We are seeing the two sole survivors of the Axis team now looking for a way inside, catching an entry. There we go. Kirba is going down with Pavadox helping out, and we see 11-6. Reason Gaming finds their foothold in the second half.
It seems like by far they are on the same schedule as New Era. It's also same as the rivals. They find the first points of the attacking side after they gave up 4. If we continue this pace, we might actually find ourselves in overtime. But Reason Gaming, they do have an advantage of the fact that there is some kind of pressure. The fact that they are already on the 11th point, because 11-6 definitely looks different than 4-1, and it definitely has a much different feeling. But New Era, with this much experience, they cannot get bothered by those facts. They just need to focus on the score. But just to remind you, if New Era wants to win without overtime, it's do or die. 7 points in a row. Not something unachievable, but Reason Gaming is definitely not an easy team to pull and move like that against him. Gabox looking for those scans. Same as Party here. New Era deciding to put one player a bit further in Strumpfish. He's looking for the fight. Strumpfish has to be careful as he was tagged as well.
We've seen an entire minute passing by from this round, and we still haven't seen anyone die yet. As the Americans are now closing in on A, with 4 defenders waiting for them. The attack is starting in Splash with no grenades to counter it, and now every single defender is now looking towards the Orph and Splash area. And now we see multiple frags coming in. Mozart and Nodex getting a frag each. 3 versus 4, and now it's a 2 versus 4 as Spirit goes down. Mozart getting another kill onto Spotty Shepard, which leaves Skills as a sole survivor who is now looking to save his soul. There we go, the time is officially expired, which means we are 11-7. NEWERA gets another point.
And the problem is that if you lack those nades in such a push, you just cannot get this. You just cannot get through this. And Nordics already entering into the round, finding Spirit in that duel. As skills right now will try to also bring something with the scope. But NEWERA already being content with the fact that they got first elimination. They now just need to get a hold on both sides. Mostly A, since that's where Reason is attacking. And it looks like Reason Gaming might be having more and more trouble. Nades will go to A, and it is really impressive that compared to, or I want to say that compared to other games, we don't see as much nade kills. And exact moment where I say this is Nordics dying from the nade. Reason Gaming cleaning up important space on spawn side A. This time they decide to go fast. NEWERA not ready for this one. Paradox already dueling for the plant, but Bank is still with the nade. Finds one kill, but kills Paradox and Gabox. And that change of pace is what's going to put NEWERA out of the rhythm. As now Benku is in the 1v3. Looking for those kills. Finds the first. Looking for the second. Benku. Not enough bullets. And not enough manpower as Reason Gaming get 5 map points here on Dawnville.
And now they have 5 opportunities to close this up before we are heading into overtime. But that means 5 chances for NEWERA in the better side to get a 2-0 victory. And now Reason Gaming, not wanting to go on a gamble, is now completely passive, waiting for the NEWERA push. However, NEWERA is going tight on that defense as well, which means we still have all the grenades left, all the utilities on both teams. Nobody wants to use anything, doesn't want to give any kind of information out. It's as if we are seeing a peaceful match. But there we go. Nodex sees the first person. Relays the information that Graveyard is now filled with Americans who are now slowly jumping into church. Nodex could be looking at his first frag. There we go. Shepard goes down, as he did not expect the scope to be looking at the church entrance. Second person to go down could be Gobox if he doesn't act careful enough. Skills is the next person to go down. Nodex with another frag. Strumpage goes down to Pavadox's grenade, and now we see a dangerous situation for him with that grenade. Spirit with another grenade from nowhere gets the NEWERA scope, and we have a 3 versus 3. 30 seconds left, and it's NEWERA who are converging onto A, as they know there is no chance they will be going to B.
Reason Gaming already on site. Mozart cannot find the first shot as he's now pushed away. Kirbach, can he disrupt the plant? Seems like the bomb will be put down, and now Mozart in trouble. Both him and Kirbach trying to go for the push, and now Benku with a huge help. They're going to the other side as Mozart finds Gabox, leaving Pavadox as the only one standing. Benku with the kill. NEWERA survives. One of the map points. First point defended here, 4 more to go, with no room for mistake. And the funny part is that you look at that score and you realize that NEWERA is halfway through to the victory. Yes, exactly. Halfway through, already having 8 points.
And we have 4 more rounds until regular time ends, which means Reason Gaming has 4 more chances to close out this map. And NEWERA needs 4 more points to stay alive for a 2-0 victory. But it is very much a coin flip, if you want to ask me who's going to win this one. So let's just see how it plays out. And for now, we are seeing a similar situation to the last round. This time, 1 single grenade has been used on each side. And also Gabox using the smoke to cover the gate. Spirit goes down. Strumfish finds him all the way back near Orf. And now we are going to see a quick battle. Gabox goes down. 2 versus 5. Reason Gaming has now next to no chance in this one. So we are looking at a possible 12-9 unless Skills brings out the best round of his life. First person to go down is Strumfich, and now the second person shoots him down. Mozart takes the kill. 12-9 is our new score. New Era inching closer to that sweet, sweet overtime.
Seems like we are not going to sleep tonight. Like we are staying for another round and another and another. Right now. NEWERA still in the game. 12-9. Can Reason break through? How many heartbreaking Dawnvilles can they play in one day? We already do have in mind what happened earlier in this day against against Complexy, because it was in top 4 with such a huge comeback emerge. But right now Reason cannot think about this one. Seems like they might once more go for a bit faster push. Gabox looking for an entrance to the house, but Nordics once more with the entry frag. Spirit eliminated. 5 against 4. Gabox, like whole Reason Gaming, focus on dodging those nades. New Era stuck in A side with 4 people here. Gabox trying to go for that push. Gabox, can he find the win here? Skills is able to eliminate Shroomfish. Pavadox also is going for the fight, but now Mozart eliminated by Gabox. 4 versus 3. Reason Gaming gaining some control on the A side with a small lead and no nades to New Era's name. This might be the end as Party finds Nordics. It is 2 versus 4. Kirba eliminated, and it's only Benku right now, and he will go down. Reason Gaming winning 13-9. The most even matchup that we could have asked for. And seems like we are going to another map. The last map of this tournament. The one to decide it all. But ladies and gentlemen, since it is late, few more minutes of break. And after that, we will go to this breakout. The one map to decide it all. New Era or Reason Gaming. We'll see after a short break. We are finally here to start the last map of this tournament. Reason Gaming and New Era, with Reason starting on the defense, and now the Axis side already doing its work, as both Party and Spirits starting this round with a quick elimination on Mozart and Benku.
Now you are seeing the ultimate showdown, the very last moments of our tournament. The biggest sensation that this game has probably ever seen being shown in these moments at 3:30 in the morning, just to show you how hardcore everyone is at the venue, even the players, the spectators, and even us. We've all been waiting for this exciting moment
18
since
hours.
last morning, and we are still only seeing the start of the end. The last 13 rounds. The last 13 winning rounds, or possibly overtime, are ahead of us, with NEWERA looking to get the first point. It's a 2 versus 1 with Pavarox left as the last one. He's got an enemy right next to him upstairs. Strumfich on the shotgun, peeks out, and now retreats to safety. Now Pavarox is looking for the second person, who is Kirba on the M1 Grand. Doesn't want to peek anymore, as he knows that time is on his side. And now, there we go. Pavarox tries to go upstairs, but Kirba has already relocated. 1-0 for NEWERA is how we start the very last map.
Oh, and what a beautiful round by Kirba here. Especially that Reason Gaming found such a nice opening with 2 eliminations from the start, and Kirba just being there as a one-man army. Now Strumfish struggling to survive as the name is thrown under his legs. Once more, it will be an opening for Reason Gaming. And Party with another one, but we did see that happen already. Reason Gaming needs to stay intact because Benku already with the kill on Pavarox. It might repeat again, and breakout. We will see a lot of action here on B side as the main part of the map. Mozart getting skills. It is getting tougher for Reason since it's now 3 against 3 and New Era. Focus more now on the A-long here. As Mozart in solo mission, there's still one more Axis player on B. Gabox, who is waiting for that combo of shotgun and car. He's waiting for the smoke to come down because that's where shotgun will shine. He will then go down and try to seek for those assassinations, but Party now waiting for Mozart. Decided to take a picture in the meantime, but now himself being in the struggle. Party finding a cover, and it seems like this tag won't really do much here. It is still a Reason Gaming on the lead, 3 against 2. Party having a really great round here. 2 eliminations already, and New Era with only 2 players remaining and no smoke in their minds. It seems like they might have a really tough time putting down the bomb. If there was more time to maybe look for those kills, but now with only 25 seconds, it might be tough. But okay, they do find 2 quick eliminations. Living Spirit alone in that clutch. And the question, where will the bomb go? Seems like B-side is the target, so Spirit is forced to be on the move. 1 versus 2 Spirit for the clutch, because now New Era is a bit closer. 12 points for the victory, 12 points for the title. Spirits already in the window, but Benku is waiting. So New Era strikes again, and somehow Reason Gaming cannot hold the round. Well, they find 2 entry kills in 15 seconds, and oh, I thought that's a timeout, but that's another tech.
Seems that being so late in the night, we are already seeing other kinds of troubles. Even technology is failing on us. But we still have the 10 most important players in the Call of Duty scene, still battling it out, still having the spirit, still having the courage to play a best of 3 at such a late point. We have 1:20 left of this timeout. Hopefully we'll have the issue resolved relatively fast. Until then, maybe we will see some re-evaluation of the current Reason Gaming strategies on top of some new era tricks coming up that we haven't seen before. Meanwhile, as we may have not discussed this yet with you guys, but what do you guys think? Give us your predictions. Who is going to win the 20th anniversary Call of Duty 2 tournament? Give us your thoughts. Will it be Reason Gaming or will it be New Era? Let us know in the chat.
It is tough to predict since even if you were to look at those first two maps, it's still even-sided, 9-13, 13-9. That's how we ended those first two stages of this battle.
And now this is why you see I'm calling in chat's help, because we know different people can have different opinions, and I know this community has very strong opinions, so let's hear them out.
And the problem is that we cannot even properly speak with the chat since we are 2 minutes in the future.
It doesn't matter for us, as we will still get their opinions just a tiny bit later. And what is important is, in the end, we will know who was right and who wasn't. And now we are seeing the timeout coming to an end. The technical problem has been fixed. And just to repeat, we are on the last map of this best of 3, the very last best of 3 of the Call of Duty 2 20th anniversary tournament, the most important match of all time in the Call of Duty 2 history, New Era, leading 2-0 against Reason Gaming so far.
2 times in a row, Reason Gaming losing a point with the double opener at the start of the round, and once more it will be Party to find the opening, leaving Bank out of the equation as New Era is now very close to bomb side B, but there is no elimination to follow up yet. Kirba going for the push, checking side after side, position after position, slowly getting closer and closer. Those nades coming in, and now New Era, with their spy on the way, will be waiting, of course, for the result of that espionage. And Kirba is getting some more information, more positions taken by New Era as the smoke is now faded away. But Reason Gaming still waiting with the full squad. Kirba and Strumpfish trying to clean the side, but we do see both of Reason Gaming players hidden in the top floor of the house. Also Gabox in the mid house, in 2 last players remaining on A. 45 seconds is now New Era is slowly taking another steps towards. Mozart has to run away, but Nordics now finds Gabok and Strumpfish ready for that fight. He's seen someone coming down, so won't be risking it. Will be just keeping Party here in check. Spirits, very important elimination, but now Nordics is able to find the refrag here. Party gets Nordics down. Nordics finds Party. It's only skills. Reason Gaming hoping to find their first point here. 15 seconds on the clock, and speed and skills finding that kill. 10 seconds. We do see that for the last few seconds. Seems like Nordics should be able to go for the plant. Of course, skills without his nade. It will be 1v1.
What an absolutely unlucky moment. Nordics barely runs out of time, and now Reason Gaming wins their first round. What an absolutely unlucky scenario. However, skills must have been, to some degree, been trying to count on it.
Insane. Insane that Reason won that round. And a huge kill from skills to actually make that happen. First point for Reason Gaming, but it was so close for New Era to go 3-0. And right now they are seeking for that first point, as both Nordics and Bank find the opening, but seems like Reason will give them the taste of their own medicine, since in an instant New Era not only loses the lead, but it's now behind Reason Gaming with double kill from Spirits and also Paradox. You can be sure of nothing, since it's 4 AM, a Call of Duty final. Nothing is guaranteed here. Everything can happen. Right now, for example, Kirba can be eliminated by Spirit, but still find kill on Pavadox. And Mozart in a 1v2, both Scope from Party and Car from Spirit on the way to hunt him down.
Mozart now trying to wiggle his way out of the situation in the 2 versus 1. He's got Patty and Spirit trying to hunt him down. He injures Patty, but doesn't get the kill. Instead, Patty is now finishing it up. Makes it a 2-on-2. Very well played by the Hungarian Devil. We are seeing the bomb defusal in a couple of moments. And there we go. We have now confirmed that Reason Gaming is now completely tied up in NEWERA. 2-on-2 is our current score. And just as an extra information, our scope on the Reason Gaming side this time is going to be Patty Shepard once again. Gubbox always on the shotgun. And Strumpfitch and Nodex holding on to the scope. And the shotgun, as always. Just so you know, as extra bit of information. And now, 1:40 on the clock. BenQ is already down on A. Skills is already out. And now the Hungarians are going even further down as Shepard dies to that beautifully orchestrated grenade. And look at that frag. Did he really do it through the smoke? Absolutely insane. You can barely even see that far. But it doesn't matter for Nodex. Now BenQ getting a kill. Gubbox is taken out of commission. Spirit gets taken down. Pavadox left standing as the only person on the Axis side who is taken down by Mozart. 3-2 is our current score. NEWERA once again taking lead.
All of those points being so close with Reason getting their first points barely by the second point from the tragic start of losing 2 of their players. And right now, first time's a chance for NEWERA to find this point. Gubbox dancing around those bullets. Seems like he will try to go for the push with the smoke. With this shotgun. And NEWERA, knowing that he definitely is inside of that huge cloud of fog, they are not going in, not risking a close meeting with those bullets, but now Strumpfish exposing skills to the death, but Gubbox finally finding BenQ. Strumpfish, Pavadox. A huge set of kills right now. Strumpfish who decided to go for such a push. Surrounded from all sides, still getting 2 eliminations down. Impressive one coming from him, but it's still 3 against 3 as the trades ended in a draw from both sides. Pavadox gathering information, and now NEWERA just kind of hanging around those middle buildings. And we do have some space on bomb side B, so Nodex, if he can provide the cover here, might let someone in, but the most important mission would be one from Kirba, who's already trying to hunt players on the other side of the map. Paddy for now is just waiting. Nodex trying to get some attention drawn to his position as Kirba is going counter box, but the problem is that Nodex is already eliminated. Kirba will get spirits, but there is not much time, and Mozart, a very important frag, eliminating Pavadox. And now Kirba on Paddy's back, making this 4-2. NEWERA looking fantastic on that attacking side, and Reason Gaming struggling a lot in that final. On the last map, there's no second chances, no loser bracket, no other maps. You have to win here and now.
Let's see how the next NEWERA push is looking like so far. Strumpfitch already banging on the gates of bomb side B. But nobody's answering the door just yet. And Strumpfitch is now crawling inside. Almost gets a frag. It gets killed by Pavadox, who is now already regenerating from his injuries. Skills takes down BenQ. It's a 5 versus 3. Hungarians with a 2-man lead. Nodex now coming from the trenches with scope in hand. Hopes to find an enemy. Most likely it will be Pavadox. And now Mozart as well. Trying to help his teammate out. Skills goes down. Hungarians lose one member. And now Patty Shepard, once again, extending the lead. Gobbox goes down. 3 versus 2. And now we have some question marks in the game chat. As players are becoming confused about the circumstances of those kills. Nodix knows that he has an enemy in his vicinity, but is not quite sure where he could be. Finds Pavadox instead in a 2 versus 2 now. Nodix gets into a firefight with Spirit on the A building. Patty Shepard taken down with a single bullet from Nodix from his pistol, leaving Spirit alone 1 versus 2. 5-2 is our score. NEWERA extending the lead once again. And there we have round 8 starting up.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Reason Gaming would be slowly running out of energy, because right now they are playing the 4th best of 3 in a row, something like that, with 3 of them being streamed one by one. And once more they are brought to the decider here. Mozart finds the nade, but Pavadox and Party. Great response. Gabox struggling a bit to survive the nade, but now already Strumpfish being here, going for that push. One is taken, Strumpfish struggling, but gets a second chance, and this time Gabox cannot do much as NEWERA once more is on the lead. Party and Spirits. Party seeing Nordics, but it is a stare of death coming from NEWERA Sniper. Once more Reason Gaming completely losing the plot on this round. Seems like NEWERA is highly likely to get the point number 6, especially that Spirit announced his arrival with the nade. But the bomb will be planted. We even know that there was rotation from Kirba here. Spirit so close to the side.
Getting information. What a nice frag onto Stromfich. Yes, he is now looking for the last 2 defenders of this bomb, which is ticking down. 43 seconds left. Let's see if he can defuse that. He is now in quite a pickle, as both of the enemies are now struggling to find him. This is a shot, however, Nodix with an accurate scope kill gets the 6th round for NEWERA. For the first few seconds, let's follow Nodix around, see what the American sniper does in the beginning. Looking over from the sniper house, doesn't see anybody just yet, but Patty starting with a kill onto Kirba. Already here's the next opponent, and now we are seeing one small change. Spirit now has the scope for the Hungarians. Still a 5 versus 3. Another early lead for Reason, but we have seen many of those so far, and all of them have ended up with a NEWERA victory. But now it's for 5 versus 1. Mozart is now huddled up around the tank, gets taken out by Gobbox, which means 3 to 6. Reason Gaming getting their 3rd round.
Finally point for Reason Gaming, but it's still very little brought by them so far, since it's only 3 points on the axis here. NEWERA looking great. Spirits trying to find something with that scope, but those nades are seeing only the empty space. Boomfish, not a chance for eliminating Gabox with skills. Great cooperation here. Skills with the dodge. It seems like NEWERA might be in the bit of the trumps here, since Reason Gaming are holding to that advantage. 5 against 4, really wanting to find some more points on the axis side here. But you cannot underestimate what the rest of these guys can do, since we've seen loads of clutches from both sides already on this map. Mozart and Kirba with a beautiful shot. Spirit on the scope, not seeing fully that someone is already sneaking for his life. Skills Hoping to find a refract here, but it might be highly needed as Mozart finds another kill from New Era, making this 4v3. Same as Gabox's position, but the shot is missing. And now he has to run away, he has to look for an escape. As New Era is taking the B side. And also that position from Benku. If he can find Pavadox, if he can find the rotation, New Era might seal the round here and get at least a small advantage after the first 12 rounds. Benku. Mozart finds kills. Reason Gaming and crashing down under pressure from New Era, under the exhaustion from the so many games played in a row, and it's now only Gabox in the fight as New Era is going to take another point, being only 6 rounds away from the championship.
Gabox now over in the upstairs area of Blue House. Still has score 98 in his hand. However, there's 4 opponents that want to take it away from him, as he is slowly being overwhelmed. Enemies coming in from all directions. And now Mozart gets taken down. Chance to go for a no-scope. Doesn't quite get it. But he knows that Benku is there. Another shot. Benku goes down. He's got 2 more opponents to go. However, does not have enough time to defuse that bomb, which means he is now going to save his current equipment.
As he at least gets the secondary from this round, but it's not really cheering him up, as Reason Gaming now seeing that after all this fight, after all those matches played today, the first place, the main prize is slowly slipping away as New Era. Even though that they had their breakdown on Dawnville, that they struggled so hard for so long on this map, right now are looking at a very great ally side here in Reason Gaming. We do see that they are exhausted as they lost so many rounds with advantage. It's not enough power for them to keep up with New Era, who played much less today, who basically only played 3 best of 3s and has as much rest as a playtime from the first part of their day.
Nadex now looking for an entrance onto B. Here's the first footsteps that are coming from the Blue House, but he doesn't know where to look for the origin of that sound. But looks like Gabox is the first one to go down. The Hungarians yet again in trouble, as NEWERA is having another successful push. There's another kill. Skills go down. And now there's only 3 Hungarians left against the NEWERA onslaught that is about to take place on A. Hodox huddled up. Now gets overrun slowly. Spirit gets the first frag for Reason Gaming. And now Pavadox getting Strumpage. It's a 3 versus 2. Hopefully they can turn it around and get a 4th round in the bag. Now Mozart is running away as Spirit dies on B, leaving Pavadox alone. And now we see the players slowly running away, as they know they have this one in the bag. Unless Pavadox pulls out a miracle. 48 seconds left. He's looking for Benku, who kills him, and now it's 8-3.
As we do see NEWERA extending the lead. Once again being able to find a way to outplay Reason Gaming. 8 points by far, only 5 more to go for New Era to win Grand Finals. Benku finds the opener here, party already eliminated. Spirit hoping to find something with the scope, but we do see that not much is going on there as Nodex kills Pavadox. And it's already so much space brought up for New Era's attack here. And they are still pushing for more. And right now Strumpfish, 1 tap skills, 5v2. Gabox and Spirit still fighting. Spirit actually will be able to get the first point. Then 8. will at least interrupt for a moment, but Benku finds Spirit before Gabox get to him. It is 1 versus 3 for Gabox, a very important clutch if he wants to have any chance here, but it is a plant. It is a trouble for Gabox to even escape that building as Nodix gets the kill. 9-3, 4 more points as the axe is here for New Era to win the tournament and stay undefeated.
What an absolute heartbreak it must be for Reason Gaming, coming over from the losers bracket, winning all those matches today, playing an absolute marathon of a tournament a day. And now here in the grand finals on the third map, getting absolutely demolished so far, as we are seeing a 9-3 score. It looks like they've left to pull a miracle, which they have done, albeit with a bit different lineup all those years ago against NEWERA on that famous Karen Tan, on that one tournament that they have won against them. Let's see if they can pull out yet another miracle, or will it be NEWERA that takes the cup in the end. And yet again, a minute is passing from this timeout for our halftime. 3 more seconds until we continue. And now, the last half of the tournament, at least in regular time, has now started. Reason Gaming with 3 points are now going to attack a NEWERA with 9. He's going to defend. First kill goes to Nodix, who kills Shepard with a well-placed grenade. And now Benku following up with a kill onto Spirit. Gobox gets a kill with at Strumfitch. Kirba looking for those enemies nearby. Doesn't see them yet, but Gobox knows how to get up on Blue House. However, Nodix is lying in wait and kills Gobox. 4 versus 1. Skills left alone, waiting for the enemy to come to him instead. He's got a minute to wait it out, but it doesn't seem like NEWERA wants to push. And right as I say it, you can see Mozart on the minimap just inching closer and closer to the open field of bomb side B. The way that Skills is hiding in this building, you might be thinking this is being used as a tactical timeout. 25 seconds left. Skill still hasn't moved, which does confirm the suspicion that we are indeed looking at the tactical discussion among the Reason Gaming members.
I mean, it is legal
begins.
since he is staying alive, and NEWERA can just kill him and prevent that discussion from happening. But they really didn't want to do that. They just want to get this point. They just want to get this victory. Just 3 more points between them and the championship. Is this the end? Or Reason? Will they find a way? Kirba with an 8 to start this round.
Let's see where it came from. An absolute disastrous beginning for the next Reason Gaming push, as there's only 2 of them left. In the bottom of the ruins, Gobox gets taken down. Pavadox is the only one left. He's got 5 enemies coming up against him, and now Strumfitch peeks out. 11-3. NEWERA 2 rounds away from victory. Not just at this best of 3, but looking at the entire tournament, they could become the 20th anniversary Call of Duty 2 tournament winners, becoming absolute legends in the process. However, those two rounds still need to be won, and Reason Gaming could still possibly deny them of that.
But it's so close to tournament points here. As now Mozart finds the first kill of round number 15 and Strumfish pushes once more, finding Spirit here. 2 eliminations already down and now Strumfish being finally taken by Paddy, but it's still Benko with the refrag. Only 2 players from Reasons Gaming side, and it's only one now, and it's none, as New Era gets 9 championship points. And they need to win only one. I do think it's the case that Reason ran out of fuel, that the true final played in that upper brackets quarter-final, deciding which one of those 2 teams will have to go through the madness of lower bracket, through so many matches here, as Kirba strikes 1, strikes twice. Seems like this will be the end. Kirba for the triple. Mozart kills him. No one gives a damn about this one. Skills kills the Spirit to make it even. I think this is the end. New Era will be your champions of Project Major Call of Duty 2 20th anniversary. Oh, what a tournament and what a series from those 2 teams. And finally, New Era getting the victory. Not enough power for Reason Gaming to push through all of those matches. And a huge congratulations to New Era for winning this tournament after 3 long days, 19 hours of playing today. I mean, not for them, they had like 9 hours of break, but
That
still.
is very true, but look at the facts. New Era, once again, in a second showdown that everyone has been waiting for since that early winners bracket match, once again ends with a New Era victory, 2-1, after coming down from the lower bracket, having played all day in such
And all night.
such an endurance. Still, Reason Gaming found at least one map and only falling apart in the very last moments. However, still, the fact that they had to play all day must have taken out all the energy. But still, this means we are at the end of the tournament. We have crowned a winner. The absolute legends over at New Era are now one for the history books.
Thank you guys all for staying with us. It's still madness how many of you were here on the other streams, considering that it's 4 a.m. on a work day and probably many of you will have to go to work at like 7, 8 or 9 a.m. I'm really, really jealous of rest of Polish guys who do have a longer weekend right now, because we do have a whole national holiday on Tuesday.
Good for
It
you.
is a bit easier for us. But for the rest of you, get some rest. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for the organizers here in Prague for making this all happen. And I hope we still can make great things again, as we've seen that Call of Duty 2, even after 20 years, the game, as I say, almost older than me, is still bringing so much attention. Thank you guys one more time from me, from Vroom, from everyone from production crew. You did see a little QR code. If you want to, you can see one last time me saying that. But first of all, the biggest support, the biggest appreciation was the fact how many of you guys stayed with us, the positive comments and everything. See you guys in the future. For now, let's get some rest. Thank you for the tournaments and goodbye.
Have a wonderful night, everyone, and thank you for watching.